shame that that district is about an hour and 10 minutes away, but I'm sure a lot of fans from the city will get down there to see several nights of that tournament next week.
It's also a shame that only one of those teams is going to come out of that district. Because quite honestly, all three of them, if they had the opportunity, could probably make it a ways in the tournament bracket if they were in other parts of the state.
No doubt. This one just about set to go. Tim Turville and Randy Crocker are the officials. Kickapoo in gold with brown numbers and white trim. And the Falcons in their home white with light blue and red. Really nice ceremony here on the floor before the game, honoring the three gentlemen who really defined Glendale sports. Inducted into the Glendale, the newly formed Glendale High School Hall of Fame. We'll take a look at some of that at halftime. Chiefs control the tap, moving right to left. John Weiss with a quick drive to the hole, but he can't get it in. Talking, of course, about Bob Price, Don Provance, and Jack Roberts. Foul out on the floor. Called against Ryan Helming.
When you talk about those three gentlemen, you're talking about Glendale sports in the case of Jack Roberts with basketball, Don Provance with baseball, from the early 60s until probably the late 80s. Actually, in the mid 80s in Jack's case.
Don Provance, the 29-year baseball coach here at Glendale.
And in Bob Price's case, you're talking the late 60s to the current day in his sport, which is football.
His total tenure here at Glendale now encompassing 33 years. We're going to get a hold foul here on Corey Nybert. Chiefs ball, no score. We played 32 seconds. Chisholm, he's the one that's going to be tough to stop. And he draws the foul. Rob Will picks it up. First one for Chisholm. Down the well, your first point of the night. Roy Green looks on, just talking to him before the game. He was actually Don Provance's third base coach on two state championship Glendale teams in 1976 and 78. In the sport of baseball. Shot won't go for Blake Will. Chisholm clears the glass. Helming goes down hard. And Tyler Thompson can't get it in. Helming waiting on the other end this time, misses the three.
You mentioned Roy Green being the third base coach for Don Provance. Remember when Jack Roberts broke his hip back in the late 70s, I guess, Bob Price and Don Provance were Roy's assistants in basketball.
So there you have it.
When you spend that many years together at the same school, your programs get intertwined at various times.
You end up coaching a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Spin move for Nybert. Got a flat shot to go. And a foul. That one barely got above the level of the rim. John Weiss gets the foul. And a single free throw for Nybert. Well short. Weiss there for the rebound. Ahead to Helming. That'll be Chiefs ball. Kickapoo won 87-47 in the first meeting. Helming for three. Chisholm on the glass. And he hung Blake Will up in the air. They'll actually say, Tim Tourville does, the foul is on the floor.
Where else would it have occurred in the stands?
Helming this time hit hard. And Glendale's racking up some early fouls.
And in Nybert's case, he's probably their one pure offensive threat, a guy who can get him a shot like we saw a moment ago, and now he's picked up two inside the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
Helming will have it there. And neither one will go down. We're still tied at 2. Jones with the offensive board, counted and a foul.
Blake Will just picked up his second.
Still 5:39 to go in the first quarter. Glendale has 5 team fouls early. Out of bounds to the Chiefs. Mike Keltner wants to talk about it. Glendale takes a timeout. 5:37 left in the first quarter. Ryan Helming just hit a layup for the Chiefs after the timeout. And Glendale down floor. Nybert timeout. And Glendale down floor. Nybert's pump fake. He can't get it in. The ball tapped out long to Weiss. Pass intercepted by Nybert, and then Weiss with a big reach in. And that's his second foul. So there are 3 players on the floor with 2 personal fouls apiece, and we've played less than 3 minutes. Ryan Moore into the Glendale lineup. Now Nybert will sit down with 2 fouls. Blake Will still in there with 2, and John Weiss stays in for Kickapoo with 2. Helming with the drive after the steal. Blake Will in the corner looking for help. Helming overplays. So it took a while, but Kickapoo has scored 6 in a row now. Now Helming will get a reach-in foul.
He's got 2.
Kickapoo foul, jersey 24. Ryan Helming, that's his second. Team foul number 4.
We're still less than halfway through the first quarter. We were late in starting to begin with because the junior varsity game went overtime. Kickapoo ended up winning 64-60. Oh, nice pass down to Brian George. Chisholm fed it to him. And George made it easy. And a second Glendale timeout here in the first quarter.
You know, the way this game starts out has reminded me of the time I was in high school, just going into high school in the state of Indiana. Remember, I don't know if you remember Tim Stoddard, who played for North Carolina State, Pete Turgovich, who played at UCLA, and Junior Bridgman, who went to Louisville. They were all on the same high school team. And our high school team played them. We led 1-0 on a technical foul when Stoddard dunked the ball in warm-up. That was back when that crap was not allowed. And the next thing we knew, it was 10-1. That's kind of the way this game is. Glendale was in it early, and all of a sudden they look up, it's 10-2, and they burn 2 timeouts.
Didn't you guys about 10 years ago or so, or even more than that, back maybe about Roy Green's first year, didn't he have a team that he slowed the game down on, and you were getting scores like 6-2 at halftime?
We had a game here that was 6-2 at halftime, and I remember doing that game on Cable 4 by myself.
Oh,
and
no.
I just talked about it because Roy told me what he was going to do. So that's all I talked about, and the game went quick. But then he also said after the game, he said, if they think I'm going to do that every year, they're crazy.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's been proven true.
Brian George, the foul. Did it get out of the 20s in the second half? Or?
I don't remember. I've slept since then, but it didn't get a whole lot further out of the 20s than if it did. I want to say it was like 28 to 22 or something like that, 28-24.
Rob Will misses the first of two. And got the second one. I was in high school at the time, but wasn't following the other teams other than the Bulldogs quite that much.
That was a rather interesting night.
Just remember hearing stories that he did that more than once, in fact, more than just the game against Glendale.
Well, at that time, he said, I'm a head coach. I'm going to do whatever it takes to give my kids a chance to win.
There's Scott Jones. Now out of bounds to the Falcons. Good hustle by.
And this ball club is the complete opposite of that. They were walking it up the floor, slowing it down against people in those days. These guys are pressing, wanting to make it a full court game.
Absolutely. Jones on the run, bombs a three. Hauk went down, picked up by George, and a Glendale foul on Rob Will, and that's his second. He becomes the 5th player in the game to get his second personal foul in this first quarter.
This is about like watching the Bulls and the Pistons play and getting Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Grant Hill with 2 fouls in the first minute. All of the players you want to watch, they've got 2 fouls and are in trouble.
Yeah. Chad Morris on the floor for the Chiefs wearing 10, and Josh Thomason running the point now, number 4. Into George with a miss, got it back, somehow got it up above the rim, and that would have been amazing if that had gone in, but he drew a 2-shot foul. Ryan Moore with his first, and Kickapoo is in the bonus with 3:13 left in the first quarter. This will be a 2-shot foul for Brian George.
We've only had 12 fouls called so far.
Played a little less than 5 minutes. George got both. And Kickapoo has its first double-digit lead. And the steal. Thomason missed after Morris got it to him. Jones, a 3rd try. Number 3 on Blake Will. No, not right. Tyler Thompson gets the foul, his first. Corey Nybert back in now. That's wild, isn't it?
That's a way to describe it.
Yeah. 2 for Jones. It's really tilting the Chiefs' way now, though. B.J. Hauk up floor for the Falcons. Thompson will try a 3. There's Jones. Morris was back deep, but no way to get it to him across the wave of defenders. Chisholm underneath. Kicks it out to Jones for 3. George on the board. And out to Thomason. He nails the 3. Josh Thomason. On the other end, Nybert. Inside, and Chisholm will get a foul as Rob Will took it up.
As they say in the medical profession, I'd like a second opinion on that, please. I think that's what Chisholm is saying. It looked like he may have knocked it away clean. But 9 times out of 10, when you make that motion like that, you're going to get it called.
Chad Broderson, 6'4" and a junior, into the Falcon lineup, number 32. 2 for Rob Will. Corey Nybert has the Falcons' only field goal at this point. Off the window for Rob Will.
Board.
Call that one?
Yep. Got to call the bank.
Thomason, no. Tyler Thompson. One-on-one with Morris, and he shook free of him. 2 minutes left, first period. Nybert. Wouldn't quite go. Offensive board put back in by Chad Broderson. And the Falcons have scored 4 straight. Here's Chisholm underneath. In there for his own rebound. And Broderson whistled for the foul. 9th team foul against the Falcons. Chisholm this time shooting 1-1. Tyler Nelson in for the Falcons, number 12. Four free throws in the quarter for Chisholm. Get it ahead to Nybert. The fake, but he traveled. Kickapoo up 20-7. Swing it around to Josh Thomason. Into Chisholm. Through the lane to Jones with the jump hook. Rebounded by Tyler Nelson. A minute left in quarter number 1. Nybert. Too strong. George gets the deflected pass away to Jones. Tried to scoop it out. And we'll have a Glendale blocking foul. Chad Broderson's second personal. Well, 2 shots after 10 in high school. This is the first year of that. I think this is the first time I've ever seen a team get to it in the first quarter.
Come to think of it, on the high school level, I can't remember seeing it.
Jones gets both. He has 7.
I can't remember a team committing this many fouls in the first quarter, even back a number of years ago.
Yeah. Dan Byerly in for the Chiefs, 25. First quarter clock, as you see. Here's Nybert with 13 to play in quarter number 1. Nybert again, right side. As the clock counts down, the ball fumbled by Broderson, and that'll do it for number 1. 22-7, Kickapoo after 8 minutes. Don West and Rob Evans at Glendale High. Kickapoo at Glendale High. Kickapoo big leaders after 1 period. Falcons on the attack. Nybert too strong off the glass. Jones the rebound. Ahead to Helming. He lays it home. And the drive in. Blake Will with the finger roll. Jones, head of the circle, down to Helming. Too strong. Scramble for the loose ball. Stays Kickapoo's way as Ryan Moore heads back in for the Falcons. Of course, this concludes our regular season of coverage tonight. We're going to be keeping an eye on the Hillcrest district next week. But realistically, we'll set our goals for being back with you for the sectional round of the playoffs a week from Wednesday in Bolivar.
Be one of the few times, in fact, maybe the first time we haven't televised a district championship game if a Springfield team doesn't win.
3 for Chad Morris.
And I don't remember that ever happening.
Down low, there's Chad Broderson.
The reason why we say that is because neither Springfield team is favored to win that district.
Hillcrest, the 5 seed, Central, the 6 seed in the 6-team district tournament at Hillcrest. West Plains, a heavy favorite to win it. It'll finish up next Friday night.
What about the favorite down? Has anybody decided on a favorite down in the O show?
Kickapoo, the 1 seed. Joplin 2, Parkview 3, but of course we had the 1-point game Kickapoo played with Parkview a couple of weeks back.
Being the number 1 seed down there just means they've got the target on their back.
That's right. And Roy Green certainly knows that.
Though with their fine season, I think you would have to consider them the favorite, but Joplin down in that part of the country has to be considered a real threat.
You bet.
And any time that the 2 guys from Parkview can get heated up, Matt Miller can score a bundle of points in a hurry.
May have seen what he did last night at 21 in the first half against Central on a 3-point barrage. There's Ryan Helming off of the missed free throw by Jones. Now we're going to get a charge. Chisholm set himself. And the offensive foul on Rob Will, his third. Blake Will ready to come in. In for Nybert. Rob Will staying in with 3 fouls for the time being. Chad Morris up front. Tyler Nelson right in his face. Jones hands it off to Weiss. 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Kickapoo leading 29-11. Morris lost it. Here comes Tyler Thompson. Pass deflected by Weiss. Morris on the run. Thompson tried to get it from him. Morris got it back, and the foul on Tyler Thompson.
I think it's safe to say, though, that Roy Green's not happy with the way his team is executing in the half-court offense, because right now, basically, they're not. They're getting a lot of their points in transition.
B.J. Houck back in for the Falcons, and Brian George returns for the Chiefs. Two fouls now on Tyler Thompson. Kickapoo has not hit a good free throw percentage in this first half of play.
Haven't hit many at all.
Rob Will in front of the hoop. Got it in. His first field goal, 5 points for the night. Last time these teams played, it was 44-23 Kickapoo at halftime. Blake Will gets his third foul. Falcons are already running out of fouls. Chisholm's made 5 free throws. Now 6. And timeout on the floor. 4:51 left in the second. Chiefs lead at 32-13. 39 left in the second. Back to live action here at Glendale. George with the block of Blake here at Glendale. George with the block of Blake Will's shot. Glendale controls though. Here is Blake. Hauk. Back to Blake. They'll sag off of him. Thompson on the baseline. Weiss skies in for the board. How he kept his balance there, I do not know. Got his legs crossed up. Thompson back for the Falcons. Blake. Helming runs the floor the other way. Got it back and put it in. Where's Bob Price when you need him?
Pretty good open field tackling there. I was thinking about Jim Pearson too.
Yeah. Thompson. Helming is down. And a whistle stops the action, and they'll take a look at Ryan Helming. Get a foul on Brian George. Boy, this game's rough. Scott Jones will replace Helming.
That's team foul number 7. Jones returns for Helming. Ryan Moore with 2 shots.
7th team foul against the Chiefs. Ryan Moore's first point of the night.
The foul starts from 34, Brian George.
Bounce pass ahead, deflected out of bounds. So Kickapoo and Joplin get the first round buys in the Osho next week. Parkview plays Glendale in the Osho in the first round. Brian George with a jump hook.
I always understood that logic. Sending 2 Springfield teams to either Lebanon or Neosho to play.
Yep. Carthage and Neosho play each other in the other.
But then again, that's as crazy as sending those 2 teams to Springfield to play in years gone by.
Yep. Rob Will. Falcons leading scorer with 7.
That's just the way district play is, though. It's just a shame that it's going to be to where fans here in town are going to have to drive to see some good basketball.
And the teams and the players they want to see.
And I have no doubt that they'll do that because fans here have always done that.
4th foul on Rob Will. 3 minutes left in the first half. Will come out. Broderson takes his place.
Brian George at the number 2 shots.
George rattles it out.
You know, I mentioned in the first half Tim Stoddard. You know, he is an answer to a trivia question. As far as I know, he's the only player that I know of who has played on a state high school basketball championship team in Indiana, an NCAA national championship team at North Carolina State, and a World Series champion.
A World Series champion.
Pitched for Baltimore when they won it in '79.
Here's Tyler Thompson for 3.
I'm sure it could have happened before.
Well, the way you cross sports like that, though,
it's very rare.
Yeah. Helming on the baseline. George from 10. Jones tapped it out to Helming. And a Falcon foul. That'll be on Ryan Moore, his 2nd. 15 fouls against the Falcons in this first half. 2:24 left before halftime. Again, at the half, we'll take a look at the pregame ceremony tonight honoring the Glendale High School Hall of Fame inductees. a dozen now for Ryan Helming. Blake Will. It's a pass back down in the corner from Broderson. Up front, Tyler Thompson hit the three while ago. Not this time. Weiss hustling after it. Scott Jones up floor, back to Weiss. Helming to the hole, dish to Chisholm.
Evan Chisholm.
There's the first field goal for Chisholm after hitting 6 free throws.
I like the way Chisholm plays the game. I mean, he just hangs out in the lane and shoots free throws and gets a pass like that occasionally, gets a putback and averages double figures, both rebounding and scoring, I'm sure.
Going to Searcy, Arkansas to play football at Harding.
I'm surprised that a bigger school didn't get a hold of him because he's a dandy football player too.
That one will spin home for Ryan Moore.
That one decided to take a victory lap or two.
Chiefs not really slowing down, but Helming threw it into backcourt.
Chiefs not really playing sharp either right now. That, you see Roy Green, he's probably more agitated for a coach whose team has a 19, 20-point lead than anybody we've seen in a while because he knows they're not playing sharp.
B.J. House to the hole. Less than a minute to go, first half. Weiss couldn't get it in. Rebound for Broderson. Blake Will. Jones with a pull. The pace stays lightning fast. Morris with the dish to Jones.
Jones from Morris.
Similar game to the first meeting in terms of score. Baseline jumper won't go. Blake Will misses, and John Weiss is on his back, and that's his third foul. Last time it was 44-23. Right now, 43-24.
Thompson returns for Weiss.
That, as Yogi says, is deja vu all over again.
1-1 for Blake Will with 8 seconds left in the half.
Which, speaking of Yogi, means that pitchers and catchers have already reported. You know that, don't you?
And you're loving it.
It's only fitting, the kind of winter we've had, that it would snow on the day pitchers and catchers reported.
No kidding. See if the Chiefs get it in the final 4 seconds. With 2, with 1. Chisholm, that won't count, went in, but it will not count. And at the half, here at Glendale, the Chiefs lead it 43-26.
Thousands of women.
And Kickapoo is not immune, it's just they have the big lead, so it's not going to matter that John Weiss. It's just they have the big lead, so it's not going to matter that John Weiss has 3 and Escorto so far. Helming and George each have 2. And Kickapoo did a pretty good job, though, of playing with their foul problems. They were able to play defense without picking up any more fouls than they did in the first couple of minutes of the ball game. So they were able to get through it, whereas Glendale continued to compound the problem with Will having 4, Blake Will having 3 now.
Chiefs lead at 43-26. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Glendale Hall of Fame induction ceremonies right after this. Tonight, involving the induction of the first three members of the Glendale High School Hall of Fame: Bob Price, Don Provance, and Jack Roberts. Bob Price has been a coach and a teacher here at Glendale for 33 years, and of course football coach for a lot of that time, head football coach.
He was an assistant to Bob Lechner when he first arrived for a year or two, and then took over the head coaching job. I want to say it was in the early 70s when he took over as the head coach in the 73 football season, and he's been here ever since.
These awards and plaques presented by Dr. Edsel Matthews and Glendale Principal Emmett Sawyer. Bob Price, first of the inductees. And next we'll get a look at Don Provance, the 29-year head baseball coach here at Glendale. The field is named after him now here behind the high school. Won 2 state championships in 1976 and 78, as we said, with Roy Green as his third base coach. So many coaches and players have been affected by this guy in baseball.
Oh, without a doubt. And you know he's a pretty good baseball coach. I'll take a little tongue-in-cheek jab at basketball coach Green as a baseball guy. You wonder how he ever figured out how to get those guys around third base. But no, they have had an outstanding baseball program when Don Provance was here, and still do.
Now with Mark Stratton at the helm. And finally, Jack Roberts, who started the basketball program here at Glendale High School. Spent 21 years as the hoop head coach before retiring in the mid-1980s.
I can remember my first year here in Springfield. The team that he had then, he had a guy named Tom Schultz, Dr. Tom Schultz, who went on to Vanderbilt. And they had an outstanding ball club that year. And for the longest time, because of the balance in the city of Springfield, he had trouble winning a district title. But when he did, he was able to put a couple of more on the board after that, and gave the Glendale basketball program an outstanding start.
Again, this all took place before this varsity contest tonight. The 3 first inductees into the Glendale High School Hall of Fame: Bob Price, Don Provance, and Jack Roberts. We'll have second half action from Glendale right after this. Our high school basketball coverage, and have enjoyed it all season long. Oh, the young Keltner, I guess. 43-26. Kickapoo with the lead, and the Chiefs will have the ball.
That's the reason why he's kind of bored with the whole thing. His team's not winning.
Well, look now on the Kickapoo bench, the #1 seed in the district at Neosho next week. Away we go in the second half. Weiss will try a 3 right off the bat.
Wouldn't be surprised if Roy Green didn't try to light a fire under his ball club in the first half, because at times I think he was very unhappy with the way they executed offensively, and most of their points coming in transition. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to light a little fire under him and get off to a good start here in the third and let the bench take over.
Falcons, despite their foul difficulties, Rob Will starts the second half with 4, Blake Will with 3 fouls.
I think this is a teaching game for Mike Keltner. A lot of these games this year have been. But he's going to teach Rob Will to play in foul trouble, because there are going to be times when he's going to have to do it.
Well, in fact, now one exception to Glendale's lineup. Ryan Moore starts the second half instead of Corey Nyberg. And now we're going to travel. Chiefs ball.
Eventually, in the next 2 years, he's going to have to learn to play a key role. We're talking about Rob Will, who you saw a moment ago, on the varsity level, and do that while playing in foul trouble and still be able to play hard. So you might as well learn how in this game, even if it costs you by having him foul out here in the third quarter.
That ball tipped out of bounds in the lane by the Chiefs. Glendale's ball still 43-26. in favor of the Chiefs.
You know, that's not to suggest that Glendale's not trying to win the game. It's just they're trying to do both at the same time with a young squad.
And also being realistic, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's Rob Will. First 2 points of the half belong to the Falcons. Inside for Chisholm. Split right through the double team and drew a foul. And it's on Blake Will, and it's number 4 on him.
Same situation. He's a freshman. He's going to have to learn to do the same thing.
He will probably stay for a while. As you see, no major hurry on the part of Mike Keltner to get him out of there. Chisholm off the mark with his first throw. And the second. Jones got the board, and the Chiefs will reset. Looks like they're trying to be a little more controlled than they were in the first half.
Yeah, they played a lot of shoot, holler, and follow. Pretty successful for them, but still, I think they want to get into the half-court game and play a little better than they did in the first half.
Thompson. Tipped and stolen by Scott Jones. Chisholm down on the left side of the lane. Out to Helming from 3. George, the offensive board. Back up. No. Tipped to Jones for the basket.
Right there was a classic example because Kevin Chisholm knew very well that nobody was guarding him down on the block, and he could have turned and scored easily. But they wanted to turn the offense over.
And that threw 2 sets of hands out of bounds off Ryan Moore. The other thing you may have noticed, there's been 1 foul called in the second half so far.
Keep them cards and letters coming and keep that clock running.
Chisholm.
Look at the way he works on the glass. He didn't get the shot up and in the basket that time, but the way he went after it the second time.
And he almost got it in the second time. 4 on Chad Broderson now.
Well, he took Blake Will's place, and now he's picked up 4.
So Will, and Broderson all with 4 fouls now. Chisholm still looking for that free throw range on the other end. Got that one. Broderson this way. Thompson saved it off of Weiss's body. Out will bring it in for the Falcons. In for Rob Will. Back into him against Chisholm. Way too strong. Brian George pulls it down. Chiefs on the run again. Scott Jones.
If he's going to shoot it that hard, he's got to hit the board somehow to take advantage of the bounce.
And the scramble for it, it'll be Chiefs ball. Tyler Nelson back into the Glendale lineup for Tyler Thompson. Four and a half minutes left in quarter number 3. Helming. Yes.
That was smooth, you know what?
Tipped, but controlled by Ryan Moore. Rob Will up and no good, but he's fouled. Chisholm the foul, his second. By the way, did you see that sadly one of our old television heroes has died? McLean Stevenson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, you didn't?
No.
Last night,
Well, believe it or not, I worked the night shift last night. Didn't hear that.
Will gets 1 out of 2.
That is most distressing.
Well, I say that only because there's a little trip on B.J. Houck. Be his first, only because you and I are such MASH fans. Anyone who knows us knows that.
Anybody who knows the pros from Dover?
Yes.
Yes, you're right. I love that show, and he was a very gifted actor that was in that show at the beginning.
Weiss may have been tripped, but if you don't see it, you can't call it. Broderson will lob it down for Will. Rob Will with the hoop. He scored 5 in this third quarter, all with 4 fouls. 12 for the night now. Brian George couldn't get it, got it back again, and got it back again. 3 offensive rebounds. That time for Brian George, and Jones hits the 3. And with the drive through the lane, Nybert couldn't get it to go. Here comes Weiss. Jones again, there in the right place. Leading the Chiefs now with 16, leading all scorers on the night. 2:20 left in the third, and out of bounds to Kickapoo. B.J. Houck got the worst end of that one, and he'll come out for Tyler Thompson. Jones on the pass from George. Will head for the line. Tyler Nelson's first. It was 22-7 after a quarter. Well, that foul on the floor, and the Chiefs get it in quickly to Kevin Chisholm. 43-26, Kickapoo at halftime. Now 55-31. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Helming with the sky, but he couldn't haul it in. Thompson. Up from 3. Helming the rebound.
Just looking over your note there about the seedings of the district at Hillcrest. You have a 1 and a 2 seed and a 5 and a 6 seed. Are there no 3 and 4 seeds?
The 3 and the 4 are Rolla and Waynesville.
Oh, you just don't care about those two, huh?
No, it's not that. I just didn't remember which one was which when I filled that out.
Well, that you were saying that there was no 3 and 4, they jumped down to a 5 and 6, and that's not good.
4th foul on John Weiss. He comes out. George comes out. Thomason and Morris back in for Kickapoo. Corey Nybert with a hoop. Chisholm shook free from the defender and lays it in. He has 13. Helming 14. Jones 16 for the Chiefs. And there's a travel. Blake Will with a step too many.
Did you hear Tim Turville? He looked over at the Kickapoo bench and said, "That's my AT&T call. It's long distance." That's a great line.
Chisholm. And that's a charge. Roy jumps right back up, but he's not in Tim's face.
No, he was talking to his team.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing wrong with that one. That was definitely a charge.
Thompson lost it. Jones with a pass too tall for Chad Morris.
I'm sure that was just a slip. Talking about Jones too tall, or it was a too tall Jones.
Oh my, I didn't even think about that. You kidding me?
Just wanted to see if you were on your toes.
That's almost too bad to be true. Nybert, board for Broderson. Third quarter clock counts down. And the Chiefs will get it out in front of their bench. No, Glendale's ball.
What he did was he said it was off your foot, and he pointed that way and made it think the Chiefs were going to get the ball. He was making the right call, but not the right indication. And he was making the right indication. He was pointing at the player, showing whose foot it went off of.
Yes. Just didn't turn and point the direction the ball was. And the final seconds of the third, Nybert can't get it in. 57-35 Chiefs with 3 quarters complete. (57-35) Falcons with the ball. Blake Will up top, down to Rob Will. Rob Will has played well in the second half.
14 points now unofficially.
7 in each half. Had 4 fouls at halftime. Still in there though.
And Glendale has but 4 points outside of Rob Will in the second half.
Chisholm got that one in. It's what makes Chisholm so tough, muscling up on the boards as he does. Falcons ball.
It's that training as a linebacker that helps him.
Yeah, that'll do it. In for Rob. There's Jones on the board.
I'd like to see Chisholm play basketball if he were about 6'6" and have the same demeanor that he has now about going after offensive rebounds. Could you imagine what he would be like as a rebounder at about 6'6"?
With all of that bulk he has in there.
Yes, sir.
That'll go for Blake Will. He has 6 on the night.
And he seems to do the little things, blocking out very well.
Picks it up. Out to Jones.
And I haven't seen many people be able to take it away from him when he catches it down low this year.
Here comes Nybert. Nice coast-to-coast drive by Corey Nybert. (59-41), 18-point lead for Kickapoo. Make it 20 as Chisholm hits for his 17th point of the night.
And don't look now, but he's their leading scorer.
Rob Will. It is a shootout now. And a timeout taken by Kickapoo. 5:54 to play. Starting next week, Kickapoo and Joplin, the 1 and 2 seeds, they draw first round. Kickapoo and Joplin, the 1 and 2 seeds, they draw first round byes. Parkview, the 3 seed, plays Glendale, the 6. Carthage and Neosho play each other.
And the girls' side of that district tournament is going to be just as good.
Joplin, Glendale, and Kickapoo all fighting it out, and throw Parkview into that mess. And anything could happen in that girls tournament. .540 to go. There's an off-ball foul. And they're going to get Helming. And Randy Crocker's going to get a technical on John Weiss, I think.
That means Weiss is done.
Yeah, Weiss slammed the ball after Helming got the blocking foul underneath, called by Tim Tourville. And John Weiss gets the personal foul with the technical, and he is finished.
That'll be his 5th foul.
B.J. Houck will shoot 2 on the tee.
B.J. Houck is running 2 shots.
One more for Houck. Glendale's ball at half court. Now Roy Green wants to talk with Randy Crocker. They go to the scorers table. And let's see what Randy Crocker wants to do. He goes to Tim Tourville to discuss things.
Oh, I know what it was. Roy Green did not have a sub in the game. He only had 4 players out there, and he said, you know, can we shoot the free throws again? I didn't have a player in the game.
You know what? He's got a point.
Oh, he does. And Randy Crocker said, we'll shoot him again. And I'm sure then Roy probably said, what, he missed one, hit 1 of 2?
Think so, yeah.
So they're going to have him shoot him again.
Well, by the book, this is correct.
Yep. Now they got to take the point off the board. And he could hit 2 of them this time.
Yep. That's a chance Roy's willing to take, obviously.
I'm not sure that it's going to be much of a sticking point in this one. And he hit 2 of them.
And in fact, Kickapoo loses a point in that deal, and the Chiefs now want timeout. 5:38 to go here at Glendale. Glendale with the ball as we resume action. After that strange little sequence involving the technical foul and re-administering the free throws.
The foul was called on Helming. The technical was called on Weiss, and they had to shoot the free throws twice.
They shot the first time without the Kickapoo sub on the floor. Jones gets the rebound after the miss. And a reach-in foul on Corey Nybert got him from behind. So it looks as though Kickapoo will remain unbeaten in Ozark Conference play for 1996. Chisholm has 19 on the night.
What gives you that impression?
Four and a half minutes to play. They were expected to, really, though. You can't say a team is expected to go undefeated, but they were the odds-on favorite. Yeah. But winning it by 3 games.
That's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, you got to give Glendale some credit tonight. They have played tough in a physical game, and I think they're showing a few signs of growing up.
Jones all alone.
At that point, Mike Keltner's going, okay, Rob, what are you talking about? But, I mean, they got beat by this team by 40 the last time they played, and they're 3:50 away from the conclusion of the game. It's only a 20-point game this time. So there has to be some improvement somewhere. Small consolation, though, I'm sure, for the Falcons. And if anybody gets tired of hearing about this youth garbage, it's Glendale.
Yep. Helming will go to the line for a free throw.
Now tries to 20, Nibert. That's his score.
4 on Corey Nibert now.
Moore returns.
Ryan Moore is back in.
Helming at the line, he'll shoot one.
Helming with 1 throw. Jones, the offensive rebound. Missed it twice, and George is fouled. And that'll be all for Rob Will.
Now tries for the 44. Rob Will, that's his 5th foul.
He'll be out. Chad Broderson is in. 3:25 remaining. Rob Will punches out with 16 points.
Ryan George at the line, he'll shoot 2.
Well, Kickapoo may shoot a few extra free throws in practice over the weekend.
May go shoot him tonight.
(68-45) with 3:15 left.
Fans can be so cold, you know that? I don't know if you could hear that or not. Somebody was saying, way to shoot those free throws. And it was from the Kickapoo side.
Thompson blocked by Jones. Picked up by Moore. And Jones gets, if you can believe this, his first foul of the night.
That's his first.
Now, one thing about this game, we said it was only a 20-point margin a moment ago. If Kickapoo had hit their normal free throw percentage, it would probably be closer to 30.
No doubt. Dan Byerly back into the Chiefs lineup. Ryan Helming appears to be through for the night. Under 3 minutes left. Chiefs will be 22-4 for the regular season. George hooks it home. He is the 4th double-figure scorer for Kickapoo. Byerly the rebound, quickly out to Jones, and blocked by Thompson. Roy Green will send in 30, Jason Hale, and number 5, Jeremy Meyer. Chisholm is out, and Jones is finished. Tyler Nelson into the game for B.J. Houck. George, the only remaining Kickapoo starter on the floor. Byerly cutting through. Pulled down by Ryan Moore. 70-45 Chiefs with 2 minutes and change to go. Blake Will with a drive. Broderson another try. 8 for Chad Broderson. Oh, and the off-balance shot goes in for Chad Morris. He'll get the throw. Tyler Nelson with the foul.
Tyler Nelson, his second. Team foul number 8. In the ball game from Kickapoo, number 21.
Troy Willis in for the Chiefs, and Brian George takes a seat. Morris has 7, and he'll sit down. Mark Mayer replaces him. With a minute and a half to play. Blocked out of bounds by Jason Hale. Thompson from 3. Blake Will the rebound, and he is fouled. Jeremy Meyer the foul. 2 throws for Blake Will.
Those 2 guys look like they've had a nice day at the office. Relaxing at the end of the bench down there.
Blake Will good on the first. There's a defensive violation, but the free throw goes in.
Where? Down there?
On Willis.
Oh, okay.
Just stepped in too quick. Out to half court now and run down by Troy Willis. 3-pointer for Mayer, too strong. Saved in, but Hale was standing out of bounds. A minute to go. Thompson touches it home. Glendale will be 6-19 heading for the district next week. Chiefs play keep away in the final 33 seconds. Broderson gets it. 1-on-1 with Willis. Broderson hits 10 for the night. Tapped out by Nelson, and he'll get a big hand as he saves it off of Meyer.
That'll make the coaches happy when they see it
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah. They're having fun with it. In the final 10 seconds. We'll get a foul with 2 to play. On Nelson, we'll shoot 1-and-1. Randy Crocker with kind of a sarcastic smile after that foul, saying, why couldn't we have dragged out 2 more seconds?
Coach Keltner saying, why did he call that? Don't call that.
This will do it. And the Chiefs win it 73-53. Totals in a minute. Go through the 1995-96 Ozark Conference season with a perfect 10-0 record. Conference season with a perfect 10-0 record as they win it 73-53 over the Glendale Falcons. This was a rough basketball game, but the Chiefs win pretty convincingly.
Well, it was. They came in. They were expected to win the ball game convincingly, and I think they did so. I think a lot of people might be surprised that the margin was only 20 points at 73-53, but after all, even the Chiefs have to have an off night. And I think Roy Green is thinking that his ball club really didn't execute that well offensively. They made it a point at halftime to come out and work on some things in the half-court game. And, you know, I'm not sure that they really wanted to run the score up as high as they did out on the prairie.
Again, all teams gearing up for district play next week. 4 double-figure scores tonight for the Kickapoo Chiefs. Kevin Chisholm leading the way with 19. Scott Jones 18, Ryan Helming 16, and Brian George with 10. You throw in 7 for Chad Morris and 3 for Josh Thomason, and that's the Chiefs scoring as they win it by 20. Rob Will had 16 for Glendale, Blake Will with 8, Tyler Thompson 5, Corey Nybert 6, BJ Hauk 4, Chad Broderson 10, and Ryan Moore with 4. Again, our plans will be keeping an eye on the Hillcrest District next week, but our long-range plans call for being with you for the sectional round of the playoffs. If a Springfield team is involved in that, that'll be at Davison Fieldhouse in Bolivar a week from Wednesday on the 28th of February, and we hope you'll join us for that as we get into postseason play in the 1995-96 high school basketball campaign. Kickapoo wins it 73-53 over the Glendale Falcons. For Rob Evans, I'm Don West. Thanks for joining us, and good night from Glendale.